Just when you thought she was gone, she comes back. Hillary Clinton. All right. Now, look, Democrats, I don't know what is going to lie in store for you for the 2024 Democratic National Convention, but I have to be very clear about this, okay? As someone who once voted Democrat, okay? You guys really know how to give a middle finger to your voting base. Now, I'm not voting Democrat. I'm sure as hell ain't voting Republican. I'm going to vote independent third party. But once again, Hillary Clinton gives a prime example of how not to treat your voting base, because it's being made abundantly clear. And we've seen this through videos and through people who I've interviewed here at Hard Lens Media. Anyone who's showing up to Democratic rally events or either that hearing a politician speak is nothing but predominantly older people, right? And I get it. Yeah, there's going to be an older voting demographic. But in order for a party to maintain itself and be relevant, or anything to maintain and be relevant, is that you have to have the next generation coming up. But if you're spitting in people's eyes and also denying people their First Amendment right to protest, whether you agree with the protest or not, if you're going to be a free speech absolutist, then you have to follow through on it. That's what I believe in. I believe in the words of Jerry Springer about being a free speech absolutist. You have to do it. But Hillary Clinton has some words for the protesters. So let's go ahead and hear what Hillary has to say. I know, folks, I know. I'm sorry to put you through this, but never trust a Democratic politician and never trust a Republican politician. Break away from them both.
I have had many conversations, as you have had, with a lot of young people over.
Really? Really, Hillary? You have?
The last many months now. And you're right. They don't know very much at all about the history of the Middle East, or frankly, about history in many areas of the world, including in our own country. But with respect to the Middle East, they don't know that under the bringing together of the Israelis and the Palestinians by my husband, the then Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, the then head of the Palestinian Liberation Organization, then the Palestinian Authority, Yasser Arafat. An offer was made to the Palestinians for a state on 96% of the existing territory occupied by the Palestinians, with 4% of Israel to be given to reach 100% of the amount of territory that was hoped for. And this offer was made, and if Yasser Arafat had accepted it, there would have been a Palestinian state now.
All right. She's speaking about something, but let's look at the underbelly. Let's rip open this carcass that was the peace deals or treaties between Israel and Palestine, and the United States being there. That was never the objective. Now, the Israeli government made it very clear they're not for a two-state solution. And no one wants to look into the fact that Hamas did get its help and creation by the Israeli government, okay? See, what people need to realize is that the military-industrial complex and corporations and a lot of large influential people who want to maintain the neoliberal agenda want to, you better believe it, keep war going on. Why do you think we got so many forever wars going on? Why do you think there's a crisis in the Middle East? Why do you think things are going down the way they are? Now, look at the crisis in Libya. Muammar Gaddafi, as soon as he was kicked out of power, as soon as he died, deceased, to quote Hillary Clinton, we saw he died. It became an open-air slave trade. That's what's going on there. All right? Same thing with the crisis of removing Saddam Hussein. Right? What happened? What happened? Nothing but forever conflict happening in that region. You see, the problem is that we have a lot of sick people in power who want forever wars. And we're stuck in it. And the American people are slowly waking up to the fact of, gee, why do we got so many wars going on? Yes, there are bad tyrants and dictators, but oh boy, I paused at a horrible time to get her face. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? But we have these wars, and these politicians profit off of it. Just like that crisis in Ukraine. Okay? As soon as those Russian tanks were getting close to the Ukrainian border, our congressmen and women knew about it, Democrat and Republican. Because I got another video where Hillary Clinton is talking about the end of democracy. Let's really talk about the end of democracy. And let's talk about what happened just before in Ukraine. Before those tanks would come across the border, our congressmen and women knew about it. And check out Unusual Whales on Twitter, and you'll find out what your fantastic Democratic and Republican lawmaker made in regards to insider trading, as well as getting the updated information that there was a war going to happen. You think they called for an emergency session of Congress and called for a diplomatic envoys to stop before the first round is fired? No, they called their third-party brokers and their other individuals who had their accounts, and they made a killing in 2020. A lot of insider trading and a lot of deals being made. Let's talk about Hillary Clinton saying how, oh no, we could lose democracy because if Donald Trump gets into power, heaven forbid Trump gets into power. Here we go. Brace yourself for this one, folks. It's on Morning Blow.
Just what a threat a democracy, American democracy, the American experiment is facing right now. Help us out with that, if you will.
You know, Joe, I think you make a really important point. I mean, it's one thing to cover the circus, and the circus is covered. I mean, people can't stop covering the circus. Every utterance, every insult, every outrageous action or comment, it gets covered. The context is often missing. What does that really mean? And I think it's imperative, especially for members of the press who understand, as you were just pointing out, the world has been here before. People did not take the kind of threats that we saw in the 1930s as seriously as they should, including American journalists. You know, people were taking at face value that, oh, this can be controlled. He may have said some outrageous things, but you know, the institutions will hold.
First of all, people did. Second of all, I want to remind Hillary Clinton of a person, a Marine general named Smedley Butler, right? A real OG. And he warned the Roosevelt administration about how a lot of business owners and tycoons wanted to do a coup and put him in charge. You want to know what that brave man did? He said no to them and informed our government. And what repercussions do you think happened to these men who wanted to create a fascist-like dictatorship here in America? They got a little slap on their hand. They patted Smedley Butler on the head, said good job, and that was it. Nothing else happened. War's a racket. And Democratic and Republican politicians profit off of it. They both do. This is why I vote green. This is why I vote independent. This is why, hell, I even voted libertarian too. Because neither party's going to get my vote.
A determined demagogue, unfortunately supported by members of his political party, other enablers, people who care more about a future tax cut than the sanctity of the Constitution, are falling in line behind him. They are trying to excuse some of the most.
And what she's doing is she's gaslighting Trump supporters. Now, look, let's be clear. I don't agree with Trump, but I understand the appeal. And I have covered politics, debates, campaigns across the political spectrum. Politics 101 is convincing people to vote for you. You got to earn the people's vote. Donald Trump kept his political movement together. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is the truth. He has kept his political movement together, and he has a strong voting base. It would be wrong of me to say, oh, these people don't know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and they know who they want to vote for. Before the Republican primaries were even taking place, majority of Republican voters were saying they wanted Trump. And if you look how mediocre the Republican primary debates were and what happened during this election cycle, it's abundantly clear that the voters wanted Trump. So they know who they want. They know who they want. Now, obviously, I do hope for one day when majority of Americans don't vote Democrat and Republican, actually break away from the two-party system. But that day may not come. Maybe not tomorrow or next year or anything of that nature. But he kept his movement together. And when you start saying, oh, people don't know, people know. They just don't like you, Hillary. It was as simple as that.
Most outrageous things that you just recited. And I don't think the press has done enough to basically say, okay, the circus is here. You can watch the circus, but let's tell you what that means. Let's talk to people who have a real understanding of how dictatorships evolve. Let's look at the people that he admires and what they've already done. You know, back in 2016, we didn't have interviews with him. We didn't have.
Yes, you have. Everyone's shocked at how, oh, Trump said this, and a Trump said that, and a Trump did this. We already knew who Donald Trump was. Hell, Hillary Clinton, you went to his freaking wedding. George Carlin, he's not rolling in his grave. He's not puking in his grave. You want to know what he's doing? He's doing a big Broadway musical in the sky saying, I told you so. They're friends. Yes, diehard Democratic voters and diehard Republican voters, you're being swindled. You got scammed. Same people who donate to Democrats donate to Republicans. Same people who donate to Republicans donate to Democrats. They're all friends. They're all friends. They are friends. They are friends. They are friends. The Clintons went to Trump's wedding. They were good friends. Trump used to be a Democrat. Hell, Hillary Clinton used to be a Goldwater girl. And they'll, oh, we never knew. Oh, we never knew. We never knew. Of course you knew. The internet's got a long memory. Stop being stupid. And this is why I'm ever hopeful for the day of the end of corporate media. Ever hopeful.
Track record of 4 years in office, there was a lot of speculation, and I understood that people wouldn't take what I said.
And Dylan Hayman said, "Stop telling the truth. I can't stop it."
Necessarily as gospel about what I thought could happen. I get that, but now we know. We've seen him and we've heard him. And so we need to do a better job of making it absolutely clear that someone who says these things, maybe he wouldn't jail.
Okay, hold on. Mastermind Hour, you wrote, you should have listened. A new heavenly musical by George Carlin. Holy shit. Oh my God. That is a great mess. Okay, I can't, I would take that if I ever get a chance to write a Broadway musical script, Hey, Kit, do you know how to write a Broadway musical script? No, I do not. However, at Mastermind Hour is pure gold. But that belongs to you, man. That belongs to you. Let's rewind this a little bit and listen to Hillary Clinton continue to gaslight people.
I get that. But now we know. We've seen him and we've heard him. And so we need to do a better job of making it absolutely clear that someone who says these things, maybe he wouldn't jail all of his political opponents. One is one too many. Maybe he wouldn't try to force out of business the members of the press who didn't agree with him. One is one too many. We go down the line. And maybe this would be our last election, because someone who will not accept the validity of an election is someone who doesn't believe.
Stop believing this fear of, oh no, this is the last election. This is the last election. I'm going to let the American people on a little secret. Ever since Citizens United and the McCutcheon decision, you do realize all your favorite politicians can now be bought. Sex workers have more honor and integrity than a politician in Washington, D.C. And if that offends you, well, it's the truth. Look at these politicians and how scummy they are. You do realize that our politicians will sell us out. They don't care about the Republic or the Constitution. Think Hillary Clinton or anyone in the Democratic Party cares? You think the Republican Party cares? No. They're paid to be good, obedient servants to their donors. That's just how it is. It is what it is. Talk about we don't, this will be a last election. Hey, you know what? Maybe Hillary Clinton should look into how, Illinois politics and how votes disappear and how difficult it is for third parties and independents to be on the ballot, to be on the debate stage. Laughs and jokes and a swell good time.
In elections, he believes in his own power, his own right to power, and his demand that he be installed regardless of whether he gets the votes or not.
Yeah. Wonderful. So I just want to pull up this video here too. Just a quick reminder, everyone, about Hillary Clinton. And, how she said how students don't know about the Middle East. Well, these people, especially Morning Blow, we're gonna go back in time to the early 2000s. I know what an innocent year those turned out to be. But we're gonna visit Morning Blow and how he doesn't really know about the Middle East. See, Hillary Clinton is saying that the media needs to educate people. The media is owned by corporations. We can thank Bill Clinton and the Telecoms Act. So the reason why we are in such a messed up world, the reason why people don't trust our media and our institutions, why people are turning away from CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, New York Times, Washington Post, because the corporations have created a media outlet in which our quote-unquote journalists and pundits read a script. See, they're not as smart as they say they are. They're just paid to read lines. What we have now representing us doesn't work. And here, hey, here, just to share with all of you. Look,
what do we do the next time Israel is attacked from an outside force? What do we do at that point?
That's the wrong question.
No, that's not the wrong question, because we never get
I'm trying to answer.
we never get the condemnation of Hamas or Hezbollah. It's always after Israel responds to defending
No,
itself.
it's not. The problem is that this conflict has lasted for years, and the United States has been largely passive. So the right question is not what do we do when things break down. The right question is what do we do to avoid a breakdown by being engaged seriously in the peace process. And for the last 8 years, we haven't been. And that's why we have the mess like we have right now in our hands.
You can't blame what is happening in Israel right now on the Bush administration.
Yes, you can.
yeah, because remember, Bush, listen, I did 2 tours in Iraq, okay? The whole American people were told that there were WMDs in Iraq, okay? We never found them. So, look, there's either 2 things to looking at. Either one, oh my God, we still haven't found them. Where are they at? Or number 2, we got lied to. Yeah, we got lied to. The reason why we're in such a messed up situation is because you got politicians foaming at the mouth for more war. And they profit off of it. They profit off of it. Both parties profit. They don't care. Why do you think our cities and towns are falling apart? We got money for war and bailing out the banks. But we don't got money for the people. Okay? And I don't care where you stand politically. You got to look at your favorite politician. Follow Unusual Whales on Twitter. And you'll find out what your fantastic politician is doing for that insider trading, Because they get away with it. Now, if you tried that insider trading shenanigans, you're never seeing the light of day, ever.
Look,
Well, let's go back to 2000, Dr. Brzezinski. You and I both know Bill Clinton.
I like how Mika looks at the camera like, ugh, this is early 2000. I'll never marry this guy. Womp womp.
Gave Arafat and the Palestinians everything they could have wanted.
Such a stunningly superficial knowledge of what went on that it's almost embarrassing to listen to you.
Oh, is it?
If you were to look more closely at
Beautiful.
what happened in the Clinton Camp David discussions, you would know that what you have just said is absolutely wrong. There were all sorts of provisions and catches to the so-called proposal, and it wasn't rejected. The negotiations went on in Taba, and then there were elections in Israel, and Sharon came in, and everything got aborted. In the last 8 years, we had a policy in which we have proclaimed an interest in peace. Condi Rice has traveled 16 times in 21 months to the region, proclaiming you must do this, you must do that, but the United States never exerted itself. So the issue that Obama faces, and that's a question that you raised, is are we going to be sitting there issuing condemnations, whether it's of Hamas or of Israel or anybody else, or are we going to be seriously engaged in the peace process? That is the question.
We're going to stop here, but that is Morning Blow at its finest. That's Hillary Clinton once again giving a middle finger to the American people and also talking down to students. Now, you don't have to agree with the protesters. You don't have to. However, everyone has a right for free speech. Everyone has a right to protest and assemble. This goes for everybody. As soon as you silence one group, you silence everybody. That's what it means to be a free speech absolutist. But also, number 2, in case you're ever going to be in a career of politics, the one thing you don't want to do is spit in the eye of potential voters. That's what the Democrats have been succeeding at for quite some time. Trump, on the other hand, he knows how to talk to his people. That's why he became the nominee so super fast. I am very curious to see how the DNC convention will play out here in Chicago, August 19th through the 22nd. Keep your heads on a swivel and stay tuned to Hard Lens Media.